I kind of have. Yeah, it's super close. I went live just for this supercell. Like, there's been a couple storms that have produced tornadoes. There's been one, like just earlier, we had one that produced fairly strong tornado. You can see it wrapped up pretty hard here, south of Marshall. Got that really well-defined debris ball, big CC drop and everything. But this one, just to the south, has kind of really quickly gotten together, and this is the trigger for me, frankly. When you see a storm this just giant, dude. I mean that's on the ground now. Yeah, I mean, just like, man, this is the thing with this is I saw this like 20 minutes ago and was like, yeah, dude, like you gotta pray that thing doesn't hold together because, but it's now on the ground. There's now a tornado on the ground in southern Janesville in an incredibly populated area. It looks like southern area with some suburbs just north here of the airport, and it has pretty much a string of homes on the way. And this is a pretty I guess you could call a high ceiling supercell. Because this thing is just giant, and it's right here where it's getting basically constant nudges to continue it, and so now there is now a tornado on the ground ongoing. Damn it, man. Yeah, and there you go. I mean, this has quite a high ceiling. Is it wise to say violent tornado? I don't know. But I think that the ceiling for this thing is legit. Very legit. Let me interact with this. Let me go to the right quadrant here. That's probably not the best one to go to. We can go right here. And I think we could put it on... we could use violent tornado parameter, maybe. I don't know. We'll use mixed layer cape just to have it up and to look at it. But yeah, dude, if you're in Janesville, I think that it might even be wise to just go ahead and PDS this thing preemptively, because again, this is just classic evolution here. This thing is not going anywhere. It's next scan, it's probably going to be balled up right in here and rough, honestly. I mean, I don't really like that look at all. Again, the pattern recognition part of my brain is just like screaming, that this is the worst. But yeah, tornado's ongoing. God, it's right over these homes. There's no avoiding that. That is just rough, man. It looks like it just planted as of this scan, too. Not everything on the screen is going to be right. Because we just had to go live as soon as possible, but man, it is not loading in. Is there a new scan? No, there's not. Good lord, though, man. That's mean. That's really mean, man. That's not what you want to see. I mean, obviously, you don't want to see that, but I mean, that's like the last thing you want to see. Thing is, these tornadoes haven't been exactly long track. The photographs support more cyclic supercells, so at least you won't cover new... Oh my god. Yeah, look at that. And like I said, balled up right at the end of that hook there, and just a massive CC drop there. Oh, right in the... Wow. Over, I mean, so many homes. That looks like a school. Yeah, like I said, it just balled up right at the end of that hook, and yeah, there's your big, significant tornado on the ground south of Janesville. Boy. Very quick evolution too, man. This thing, I mean, gosh. So quick. It was very easy to tell from back here that this was going to be problematic, but wow, right in there, right in town. That's rough, man. That is really rough. Okay. I'm going to have to copy this. I'm updating this as we go because I should have done it before live, but I honestly didn't think it could wait. I thought it was pretty imminent for this storm. I didn't think we had much time to just wait around and change the little semantics here. But I think everything else is fine. I don't know. I don't think there's a 15 hatch hail risk, but I don't think that really matters. It's a 5 hail. Alright, I should have changed that, but it's whatever. It's whatever. But yeah, there is clearly a significant tornado south of Janesville now. So there we go. Man, that's rough. Man, that is rough. PDS warn now. PDS tornado warning now covering Janesville, Johnstown Center. Avalon as well. For this guy. Though strong, we gotta hope that it doesn't root a little more, get a little more intense, because right now it seems to be a very, yeah, okay, that newest scan is a little more helpful. It looks like we surged out really, really hard and screwed ourselves up here, which is good. I'd almost guarantee that there's still a tornado ongoing. But yeah, we definitely don't want like a cycle, but I don't think that matters what we want because we already have a cycle aloft, a new meso aloft, kind of southwest of Avalon. So and that's to be expected. These are going to be cyclic supercells, which I don't know if is better or worse. I think that dealing with a cyclic tornado producer is better because the tornadoes are usually shorter lived and they don't cover as much room compared to one continuous really long track tornado. I think it's better that they occlude a bunch of times because then, some occlusions may not be able to produce. Some occlusions may happen quicker than others. The tornadoes are on the ground less time. So I generally think they're better, but it gives you more tornadoes. And yeah, there's definitely a tornado still on the ground. But the RFD is continuing to surge here. See, it's pushing out continuously, and it wrapped up the both situations are bad. I will agree that. I think about that a lot of what would I rather deal with. Would you rather have one really long, continuous, long track tornado or a bunch of cyclic ones? I don't know. They're both bad situations. They're both tornadoes. They're both strong tornadoes. That's really all that matters. The technicality of tornado formation is out the window. Who really cares, right? But yeah, there's probably a tornado still ongoing. How about neither? Yeah. Look at that, man. It just kind of weird path. Did like a squiggle. But yeah, it went through a really populated area. Man, I'm hoping that that's not as bad. It doesn't really look like a very intense or violent tornado, which doesn't really matter. A huge part of the town just took a hit from the tornado. I'm hoping the damage isn't too bad, which I don't think it's, the worst in the world, but that is still rough. I'm hoping that it's not bad. Hoping that it's not really, really bad, at least. I know it's Wisconsin, but where specifically? Southern Wisconsin, west of Elkhorn, just pretty much due west of Kenosha by, 50 miles or so, near Janesville, Wisconsin. southwest of Johnstown Center, northwest of Chicago by a bit, and pretty much due north of Rockford, Illinois. Like right there, but man, look at him. That was really quick. CC drop also wasn't as deep as you could see, like compared to this one. Very tight, strong velocity, deep debris ball, deep CC drop. This is much less deep, not as well defined. So the hope is that, you know, the damage isn't that bad. A lot of times with these really broad tornadoes is they'll do, you know, you can get wide CC drops because that's just how much they pick up on volume, but not, you know, anything too significant. Again, though, that doesn't look good. Somebody lost something. I just hope it wasn't anything bad. There was also that approaching high pressure from that QLCS. You can see right here, that line right there. And then as soon as the QLCS kind of pushed up right along it, it kind of forced this to go. So can this thing keep going? Because it's clearly both merger and QLCS induced. You can see right here, just as the QLCS approaches, it forces it to wrap up. And as it continues to push on, you can see the tornado has really, it's probably, you still need to take it seriously, but it's probably blown it apart at this point. So, only pic I could find of this. Okay, I'm hoping that it... Yeah, and tomorrow looks really interesting too. A 10% tornado risk in the Northeast, with some really impressive soundings for that region, and just in general. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen it. I think most weather people have. But man, it is really impressive. I'll just put on STP and cherry pick to just give you a good idea here. Well, I'll click right there. I mean, for the Northeast, that's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. And the ARRR has, hold on, maybe this will be better. This would be better. There was a couple that were really nuts. Some like true PDS tornado soundings that almost looked like they were straight out of the Midwest. Pull something that isn't contaminated. Yeah, this is a better look at the environment as that. Got to make sure there's nothing else ongoing here. I might watch that area south of Concord with that storm that's kind of just moved up along the QLCS. It looks like we're causing a little bleh right in that region, so I'd probably watch that near Concord. But yeah, I mean, just look at this for the Northeast. That's pretty crazy, man. And there are supercells it's initiating, which is equally as impressive. You can see a couple discrete storms, one here, crossing into New Hampshire. You can see they just chug along, dude. And that's why there is a pretty rare, I don't know the last time this happened, but a pretty rare tornado-driven enhanced risk tornado wind-driven 10% for that region, which is really weird to look at and see. First one in history? Is it really? I don't know that it would be the first one in history, but yeah, I think this is definitely transitioned to more of a big wind threat. The storm is still rotating. It's still got a beefy mesocyclone, but you can see that the RFD part of the storm has surged out so hard. You can see where the gust front's at. It is really far ahead of the storm. It can't really wrap itself inwards and be a really efficient tornado producer. It's really just blah. Man, that is really weird to see. It has to be a hugely populated. It's crazy though. It's really weird to see this up here. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes 10 hatched as well. And I'm curious to see new guidance. Really, really curious to see the new guidance on this. But that would be even weirder. It's a significant tornado risk up there. I mean, it looks like it's a really good setup. Other than, you know, tropical induced stuff, it's probably the best setup I've seen up there that isn't like tropical induced. You know what I mean? Like you have just like a remnant, you know, extra tropical cyclone or something running up there, or like a tropical storm or something, you know, like we saw 2 years ago or whatever. You just know there's going to be some topographic interaction that produces a strong tornado in some valley with 4 people. And that's something that's, I guess not cool, but there's so many mountains that you probably are. You're going to get some weird valley interactions or gosh, it's going to be really interesting to see how that goes. Because it is really mountainous and hilly. It would just be weird seeing tornadoes in that region at all. Like, how's the radar coverage up there? I very rarely go up there. I know certain areas in the Northeast are just awful. Yeah, it's not great. There's kind of a radar hole for the entire main risk area. It's not good. A church was destroyed in Argyle. That's up here, right? This was the earlier tornado. There's a couple tornadoes earlier. There was one literally dead on in my target area that I was going to go to today, but my air conditioning is still cooked, so I can't really drive for that long, or else I'll die in my car. Right up here near Belmont. It was like totally sideways and squiggly and really crazy looking. Yeah, the tornado is lifted at this point, but it is still a big wind threat. But yeah, we can go up here, and if you look, the radar coverage is not good. It is no bueno. Look at that. It's just kind of in a big hole. The church is gone in Argyle. Holy hell, it is flattened. And contextuals look I mean, that's a clearly intense tornado. I mean, I don't know the construction of that, but that is clearly intense. That flattened the entire church. I mean, there's still like an interior room, but that is like wiped. Man, that thing was invisible its entire life too. It was so deep in the rain. There were so many chasers on it too, and it just wasn't even visible. And it's just, the whole church is flattened. Also today in the weather world, Greenfield, with its 300 plus estimate, has people losing their minds. Because by all technicalities, in terms of sustained winds and most likely wind speed estimates, Greenfield is now the strongest tornado ever recorded from a mobile radar, which is not okay. We need to be very clear here that strongest observed on a mobile radar does not equate to the strongest tornado of all time, and I hope people do understand that like. It does not mean that we just had the strongest tornado of all time. Is it the strongest tornado observed on it from Dow. Yes, it is. Okay, at least in terms of its, most reliable wind speed estimate. But does that mean it is the strongest tornado of all time? No, not at all. There are plenty of tornadoes that I can ring off that are very clearly stronger, and I frankly don't think it's stronger than any of those placements on the list with it. But dude, the point is the point being that we just observed extreme wind speeds in a tornado that have not been measured in that 300 plus range since 2013, and the highest observed wind speeds reliable from a Doppler on wheels in 25 years, and since Bridge Creek. It's just scientifically significant that Bridge Creek, in terms of its measured winds, has been dethroned. Do I believe that Greenfield is stronger than Bridge Creek? No. And I think if you think that, you're taking everything a little, too seriously. I don't at all. I don't even, it's literally not even debatable if it was stronger, but it's pretty incredible. It's pretty incredible, man. Just to see that. But it brings up probably a bigger point. What's up, Gray? Of, how strong really are those tornadic wind speeds, right? If you have something like Greenfield, which is very clearly weaker than, the Bridge Creek right behind it, and Greenfield is pushing 320, then what was... Okay, Greenfield's pushing 320, and that's below 30 meters. That is a near-ground wind speed. Bridge Creek's winds were measured even higher aloft than Greenfield's were. But just look at the damage that was on the ground from Greenfield with, we'll just round it and say 320 mile-an-hour wind speeds. And then look at what Bridge Creek did. And Bridge Creek had similar wind speed measurements. So what were the true ground speed measurements? Because one is very clearly substantially weaker than the other with similar wind measurements. So what is the true absolute ground wind speed of something like Bridge Creek? It's very clearly not maxed out at 320, probably not 330. It's probably really, really high, just contextually. How fast was the movement speed of Greenfield and Bridge Creek, though? The thing is, though, is that's a good point. Is like Greenfield is moving 70 miles an hour, whereas Bridge Creek is moving 20. But when you're dealing with 300 mile per hour wind speeds, you can move pretty fast, but if you're moving, you're gonna do really bad damage. And Greenfield did. I think Greenfield can totally. Bridge Creek was moving faster than that, surely? No, not really. It was 20, 25, 35 max. It was a slow mover. It was not very fast at all. Bridge Creek did its damage because it was a strong tornado. It's not like Gerald where it was just really slow. But Bridge Creek was definitely slower. You got to kind of watch here. But Bridge Creek was slower. But I don't think that when you're dealing with a tornado that is in the 300s that movement speed is very, it obviously makes an impact. Like a slower tornado with 300 mile per hour winds is obviously going to do a lot more damage. But I still think that it's very easy to get extreme damage. And Greenfield did have quite extreme damage. It was just so narrow that, it was hard to... But in the narrow swath it did, I find the 300 mile per hour in Greenfield hard to believe. I don't at all. It's pretty clear why, and the data's right there. It's the same thing with Bridge Creek, as these are wind speed measurements in small localized areas that are from subvortices that are pretty not hard to get. If it was wider, it would have gotten a higher rating. I would tend to agree, but I think that if it was wider, it wouldn't be as strong. Because part of what how extreme it was is how compact it was, because it was never a big tornado. I mean, okay, it was a big tornado, but it never broke a quarter mile, I don't think. I mean, it was really tight. Tornado forming above our house in Janesville. But I think people that are, calling it the strongest recorded reliably is just factual. But when people are jumping the gun and saying the strongest tornado ever, blah, 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 it's like, dude, I mean, we've seen tornadoes within the past 10 years that from a damage perspective, But Greenfield is probably the most, maybe other than Raxpole, the closest up, Raxpole on Piedmont, probably the closest up, most reliable ground wind speed tornado measurement of a violent tornado ever. I mean, if you guys have seen how close they were, I mean, they were right there. They were being battered with winds on the outer circulation. They were in Greenfield measuring the winds of the tornado. I mean, we weren't talking about, really high up, even several hundred feet wind speed measurements. These were very, very near the ground, not much taller than your house wind speeds. In some instances, like, this was very legit, but it was... I just don't think wind speed... I think the whole point is the wind speeds, those kind of wind speeds. Okay, the EF scale lowballs tornadoes so substantially to the point that when we see those wind speeds, I think we freak out because we think they're so extreme. And they are extreme, but I don't think they're as extreme as they're made out to be. I don't think there's only been 4 tornadoes in the last 30 years that have hit the 300 mark. I think there's so many more that have done that. It's just how many are ever recorded on Doppler on wheels. I mean, it's no surprise. Every time we get a Dow reading or a Raxpole reading on a violent tornado, it's like almost always in the EF5 strength range. Like every time. And it's just because the EF scale lowballs it so much. EF5 starts off at 201 on the scale. But, most EF5 tornadoes, I would probably say that have definitely been in the 300 range. Oh, man, Janesville. Lots of trees down. There's some shingles torn off of a roof. Looks like a part of the roof missing. Lots of small shrubbery knocked over. Damn, look at right behind him, though. Lots of trees snapped. You search subject. Alright, bro. Alright, bro. Alright, bro. Alright. I forgot about the Idiots in Cars bot. Rest in peace, Idiots in Cars. We will miss you dearly. I feel like a Dodge Ram. Your tornado of the year tier list, dude. That'd be so hard. I'd do it though. I just don't. Gosh, there's so many to cover. That's a lot of pictures to just draw up. Saw Elkhorn on the map and had to do a double take to remind yourself there's probably yeah. This is we're in Wisconsin. Trust you're all right. You're all right. Number one El Dorado. That seems to be the taker this year, for most, and also number one. Right? You can't do that. You can't do that. You have to rank them. Actually, it's Duke. It'd be funny to call tornadoes that like not what they're known as usually, but like some weird, strange, not commonly used name. Like instead of Andover, what if you were like, oh dude, the Benton F5. Instead of Bridge Creek, like, oh dude, the North of Norman F5. The Northman. Okay, how many tornadoes? Jigsaw, send me some pictures, because I don't want to use a ton of chasers footage pictures that I don't have permission of. So just send like obviously like Duke and Holly and like Silverton and whatever you got this year. Just send it to me, and then I'll try to find some other stuff. And I guess we could make a tier list. We could throw a tier list together. Can you just do this? Can you? Oh yeah, you can just make one. Okay, let me. Alright, here we go. We got a tornado of the year tier list, though? Like, is there really a D tornado of the year? Or is it just, like, less incredible? S, amazing, generational. A, incredible, multi-year worthy. B, less incredible. Okay, incredible. Season worthy. Maybe. I don't know if that's a good way to put it. Amazing tornado. Run of the mill, I guess. You know. I did forget there's two different Silvertons, though. That's one thing. There are two different Silvertons. They combined into one, too. They were like, oh yeah, we're just gonna combine the tornadoes into one tornado. Okay. Okay. Let me save all of these. Wish I was a better chaser. Comes with time, and like a lot of chasing is like I mean, I don't want to say luck because a lot of it is forecasting, but like, if some weird shit happens and you just don't get the tornado that day, I don't think it always means that you're a bad chaser, but rather you just didn't get it. You know, like most chasers on April whatever the fuck in 2022 didn't get Andover in 2022. But I don't think they were bad chasers. I think it was just like a really, you know, not easy to know with hindsight. Okay, so we'll get those in there. So we got Jiggy's pictures in here, and then fuck, let's get the straight no streams for 3 days or something. No, like nighttime streams were the plan. Nobody really is a bad chaser. I beg to differ. There are bad chasers out there that are, but they're usually not bad chasers. They're bad drivers. Which, you know, terrible. Send in a picture of Minden. Send in a picture of Minden if you could. And then I'm just trying to not use as much Waverly. We need Waverly. I'm just gonna list photogenic tornadoes. Go for it. Gary. Okay. Do we need Gary? Does Gary belong on the list? Does Gary belong on the list? Does the nighttime tornadic waterspout in winter belong on the list? Yes. Really? After all the amazing shit we had this year, we're gonna put the Gary tornado on the list? I mean, okay, we might as well, but best nighttime tornado ever? Really? That is a particularly hot take. Okay, we'll use this image of Minden. Or no, we'll... Why is it a web file? A weeb. Alright, we'll just throw that in there. I'm gonna try to use as many images as we can with permission. Okay, so I think we can list some quickies. Okay, I think without a doubt, Duke goes into S amazing generational. I think Duke goes there with not much. Not much discussion. That is not Duke. I grabbed Duke. Why is it so laggy? Okay, we'll put Duke in S amazing generational. Hold on. Where's my fucking... There it is. I was wondering where my charger was at. Okay. How about the PA or MD tornado? No, those don't really count. I mean, with so much this year that has been so good, it's hard to put that there. But Duke gets S amazing generational. Okay. I think Waverly does too. Indisputable S generational tornado. Does Holly get S amazing generational? I would say so. Okay, I don't want to use generational. Okay. Semi-generational, I guess, is the best way to put it. Just a really good photogenic tornado. I would say Holly goes in there, but I'm curious to know the opinions. Because I definitely think so. Does okay. Does it? I want to ignore the letters here, but I'm not sure that I would put Custer City in either of the top two. Perhaps a hot take. However, I think compared to the number, this is just a bigger picture. Never mind. I don't know. Looking at it again, I don't know. Like, I think you could make a... No, I don't know about multi. Is it multi? I don't know that it... Okay. Season worthy. How wide was Custer City? I know they said the damage field that they found was like 3 miles. But the tornado itself would obviously be smaller, because some of that's RFD. But I don't know that we ever got like a legit... What? Like a mile or something? At least a mile. I don't think there was ever a... Okay, Minden. Do we put Minden in... Dude, I don't know where to put Minden. Westmoreland, too? Oh my god. Start sending me pictures. Hold on. Fuck, where do we put Westmoreland? Bro. Madisonville count? I mean, it wasn't really, you know... Gosh, this thing was so big, man. This was nuts. And this was like right on the edge of the 2%, I'm pretty sure. Shit is insane, man. Outrageous. Okay, we'll get more. What about Anson? I'm gonna throw some more in here. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. The tornado before Holly? Yeah, I'm getting it right now. Get Anson. Goreville? What is Goreville? Does that go by another name? Goreville. Okay, let me throw this all in here. And then, what else? What else? Alright, well, I'll throw a couple more in there. I think that's... some extras? Okay, so I also threw in... I put in Westmoreland, Anson, Greenfield, and Carbon, and Westmoreland. I think Anson... Dude, okay, I think Anson is probably is Anson multi-year worthy or season worthy? I would probably tend to agree. I mean, that was a... I think the only thing that stops it from being in the semi-generational list is the time that it was on the ground. 2 on the ground now? Goodness, is there... Holy hell, there are 2 tornadoes on the ground. Williams Bay and west of Lake Geneva. There are 2 ongoing tornadoes. Holy cow. Get that, man. What are we over right now? Of course. Of 2024, avoid a populated area challenge. Impossible. Okay. Westmoreland. I think Westmoreland is probably semi-generational. I would probably, not even probably. Greenfield went in as the multi-vortex that it was, is semi-generational. Why is Westmoreland in here twice? Then you talk about the expanding bullseye effect. I did, and it's only gonna get worse, you know. How are we feeling about Carbon? Carbon looked right out of Dodge City. I would put it in semi-generational, but I'm also biased because I was there. Semi-generational or multi-year worthy, because this thing is a huge, fat, gray cone. I would agree. Okay. Minden. Now, does Minden go S, A, or B? I think you can make a argument for all of them, but I'm S or A is really what I'm leaning towards. It's hard, dude. This year is so crazy that it's hard to have this many tornadoes in generational. Not even the best. Yeah, I was just leaning. I just needed something that I could have permission for. A. So we could put it in A for right now. Damn, dude. Okay. Okay. Now this is tough because both of these are great. I think the fatter Silverton tornado. Okay, dude, this is difficult. Because we get tornadoes like this every year in Texas. Silverton won a C. I agree. That's what I was getting at. As we see tornadoes like that every year in Texas, you know what I mean? It's hard for it to be anything that's, and it's amazing, but is it, you know? What about the second Silverton tornado? I would almost be tempted to put it in the same tier. Perhaps B. I don't think it's exactly multi-year worthy. It was a cool photogenic tornado day, but I don't think it was multi-year worthy. B or A. I'm tending towards B. I'm tending to lean towards B. We have to consider the rope out. Oh yeah, there was the whole. Okay, we'll do an update. I'll definitely put it on the higher end of B. I'll definitely put it at the higher end of B. What else am I missing? Windy Horse. Hold on, let me go on. Let me find Windy Horse. Jim Tang's photo is insane. It's nuts. Windhorse, Texas. Oh man, though. Dude, that's damn good. I would. I'd probably say that Windhorse is at season worthy, pushing towards maybe multi-year. I really am a sucker for the front lit cones. Season worthy. That's fair. Season worthy. What else are we forgetting? This lineup already is nuts. There's so much more. Elkhorn. Okay, we'll get those in there. Midland, yes, Midland. God, this has been nuts. Ballinger. Elkhorn. We'll put in there. God, Elkhorn was nuts. I don't know how... at least how I would rank Elkhorn in terms of... I think... Man, Barnsdall. Does Barnsdall really count for the Tatis list of really photogenic? Hell yeah, it does. That one video. That one video at nighttime with that huge horizontal vortex, I think it counts. I think I'd put it there. It was not an easy one to see, but I think it definitely counts. It reminds me a lot of Tuscaloosa, actually. Call me a weenie. Scariest of the year so far? Probably Barnsdall. And then Midland. Dude, there's been so many. Midland was so tall. Okay. We'll get those in there. Hollister. Do we include Hollister? We include Hollister. We include Hollister. Yes, we do. Stupid question. Yes, we include Hollister. Send in the Hollister, or I think you already did. Okay, I'll get the Hollister picture in there. I sent you my photo. Yeah, I got it. God, I think it was huge, man. I remember there was that one guy who was like, it was not a wedge. Alta Vista? Dude, I forgot about fucking Alta Vista. Dude, you know it's been a crazy year when Alta Vista gets drowned out, dude. Fuck, I completely forgot about Alta Vista, man. What? Come on. How could I forget, man? Man, dude. Alright. Why so many of these were put in, like... How about Portage? I don't know. It's been a blur since Elkhorn. It actually has. It's been non-stop. Okay. Midland. I think Midland is... okay, we're gonna start out with Elkhorn. Where do we place Elkhorn? Because it is a giant wedge in a populated area. I think it's season worthy. I think it's season worthy. You could make an agreement. Multi-year worthy. I guess you could make an agreement for semi-generational, since it literally is by all technicalities. Okay, what about Hollister? I think Hollister is season worthy, but I don't think it's multi-year worthy because it's at night. I think it's hard to have a multi-year worthy nighttime tornado shot unless it's like Greensburg or something. I think the same about Alta Vista. I think it's definitely a season highlight, but it's not anything particularly, multi-year. I do feel the same way. About Midland. And Ballinger. I think there's season worthy tornadoes. Damn, but I almost want to. I almost feel like that this is pretty season worthy too. Yukon too, or we. We gotta do Yukon. I think Yukon's awesome, but it's another night tornado. So we'll get Yukon. We'll get Yukon. Midland, okay. We'll put Midland in season worthy. I think that's very season worthy. Ballinger is season worthy, but I think on the lower end. Okay, let me... Bro, good lord, this thing is crazy. God, I forgot about this, man. Marietta's not really... It's notable because it's a violent tornado. It's not much for else. It wasn't particularly fun. The best video I know of it is those people who almost died because they tried to outrun it across its path. Okay, Yukon, I think... Dude, I feel like I can't put anything on this list in Amazing Tornado. Looking at all the other spots, I feel like Silverton, the first Silverton tour has to go in season worthy. I feel like there's not a single photogenic tornado that has occurred this year that isn't exactly season worthy. I would disagree. I love the cone though. I feel like if this is just Amazing Tornado, I think this is just Amazing Tornado too. Wasn't Yukon? Yeah, Yukon was from the Occluded. I think Yukon is probably season worthy because of the occlusion. That was crazy, and because of how multi-vortex it was at the surface. I think it's probably season worthy. What else am I missing? Oh my god, the big dusty tornadoes in the one with the rainbow. Just recently. I think it was in Canada. Belmont from a couple hours ago? I think Belmont is pretty... It's amazing to run of the mill. Well, okay, it's amazing on the... It's amazing. Run of the mill based on when it was just crossing the road from the video I saw from Connor Croft, but I think it's definitely amazing with the whole... with how sidewindy it was. You could even make a argument for season worthy. Okay, and I do want to say that a lot of these tornadoes on their own would be multi-year worthy if they occurred in a year that wasn't 2024. I think it's just so... There's just been so many photogenic tornadoes that we have to kind of hold on. Let me. I'm trying to look for the other one. Where's the one with the rainbow? Okay, yeah. It's the one near Swan Lake, Manitoba. It was a huge dusty tornado with a rainbow. And then just from a few hours ago, we'll do the other one. Yes, Greenfield has confirmed winds over 300. It's been all over Twitter and Weather World. Okay, we'll throw those in there. Okay, they keep getting put in there multiple times. I think this would be a refresher by looking at it. I think Dusty Tornado with the Rainbow is multi-year worthy. with ease to potentially semi-generational. Big, beefy, dusty tornado on a no precipitation supercell with a rainbow, I think is at the very least multi-year worthy. At its absolute lowest, season worthy. In my opinion, I'm really trending towards semi-generational there. What's the widest dust devil? I don't even know if there's a record for that. The Florida tornado from May 10th. I don't even remember that. The Florida tornado from May 10th. I remember there being a big Florida wedge earlier this year. We can put on the Wisconsin one. I think that it's an amazing tornado. I think we got to be fair to the other ones. Clarkson. Clarkson's a good... Yeah, hold on. Clarkson. What was the other one earlier in the day? What was that one? It was near, I don't remember where it was at. I think... Damn it. And I forgot to even put in Barnsdall. Okay. Okay. Clarkson, I think, is amazing to season worthy. Amazing to season worthy. I don't think it's multi-year worthy. Since when did this go observed? They've just held on to this. There's no tornado as of now. I think Clarkson is amazing. I think Barnsdall... Okay, I don't know where I'd put Barnsdall exactly. If you were on this, it's probably run-of-the-mill. If you were able to get this shot of it and saw it like this, it's probably season-worthy. So, I'm not totally sure where to put it. Should it go... Where should it go on the list? Because I think if you saw it at this perspective, at this angle, I think it would be pretty season-worthy. But I don't think that shot was common at all, unless you were, like, in the direct path or notch of this thing. So, I don't know. I'm going to go season-worthy just because of its visual appearance. Run-of-the-mill. It was probably run-of-the-mill for most chasers that were on it. Couldn't even see it. So that would make sense. What else am I forgetting? What else am I forgetting? There's that really LP one on the same day on 426. It was the one that was near Seaward. It was the one that Capucci was on. Silver. Forgot about Silver. Silver was fat. Silver was really fat. I think it was overshadowed by Robert Lee. And just by the radar view of it, I think it got overshadowed rather than the... Okay, that's that. That really LP one near Seaward. I mean, I completely forgot about it until you said anything. Which is crazy to think. I'll put those in here. Alright, Silver. Silver's a big tornado. I think it's season worthy. I think the LP one near Seaward was pretty amazing. I think it was pretty amazing. I think it depends on the... It was an amazing tornado. Dude, this lineup is crazy. This has all been in 1 year. Especially the S. That is ridiculous. What a year, man. What a year. Forgot about that. Dude, that was the I don't know. Where do we put Sagerton goes where? Where should it go? I don't think it's particularly season worthy. It was really early in the year. It was a pretty tornado. But I'm not sure that I'd put it in season worthy. I think I'd put it in amazing tornado. How are we feeling about the list thus far? Do we have any objections to any placements thus far? Loop, Texas. Oh, this shit. This random... Yeah, I remember seeing this from Corey Gherkin. That just random tornado in the middle of nowhere. I think it's a great tornado. I think it's a great tornado. But I'm almost even hesitant to... Ooh, never mind. Ooh, that picture you sent is kind of crazy. Okay, that makes it a little harder. I think that shot is season worthy. I think that specific shot with the rainbow is season worthy. Do we have any objections? Winchester? Dude, I forgot about fucking Woodworth. A tier. Multi-year worthy, you think? With the rainbow, I think if I gave this generational, I think I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna give it really high B for right now. We'll revise. We'll revise. Really high B for right now. I forgot about this. This is probably season worthy. That's a really fat cone stovepipe. Probably season worthy. Like in any other year, that would be like tornado of the year. Oh man. Bro. Good lord, look at that shot, man. I forgot about all the Missouri tornadoes. I forgot about all of the Missouri tornadoes. I think Mountain View is pretty... This is to probably grow tomorrow, yeah. Dude, I think it might be multi-year worthy. But I think we'll put it in season worthy for right now. But I think it could be multi-year worthy. Red Oak, I'm not sure where I'd rank Red Oak. I think Red Oak is a great tornado. I think Red Oak is a great tornado. But I don't think it's season worthy. It's kind of skinny. This is a crazy lineup. And some of these happen on the same day as some others here. It's crazy to think about. Like, almost all of these placements occurred with another placement that exists on this list. With the exception of Duke, I think Duke. We have Lincoln on here. Right there. Huh. How about the South Africa tornado? Do we rank the South Africa tornado? Should we put that on the list? Definitely not Caleb. I say yes. Okay, we can do that. We can do that. I don't know why there was southeasterly winds. Just looked up. Where's it at? Okay, well, there's a picture of it right there. We all have a mental image of how the tornado was. I think I think it's definitely, bro, because of it being in South Africa, it's definitely generational. Appearance-wise, this would still be near multi-year worthy in the United States if it occurred. I'm gonna go ballsy here and say it's multi-year worthy. Because that was probably the most ominous tornado thus far of the year.
that March tornado in Ohio. Do we put those? The thing about those now is they have become so run of the mill. And I mean we have an open spot for it. But I think Winchester, just appearance wise, is pretty run of the mill. It's a nighttime cone. You could barely see it. Good Lord, man. Yeah. That's freaky. We'll leave it off here for now, because I'm burning up. I gotta go in a room with air conditioning, and I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna save this for the time being. But I'm gonna hit stream with an atom bomb right now and hop off, because it is so hot in my room and I gotta go somewhere else. Like, literally. So it's been fun. I'm glad we could do a little coverage and talk about tornadoes and stuff. But I'm gonna head out now, so bye-bye. I'll be active in the court and stuff, so, but I'll see you fellas. Good bye.